Okay, in this part of the lesson, we're going to be working with finding the part or the whole using our proportion setup. So once again, let's review our proportion setup. So we always have a percentage part of our proportion, and then we also have the actual, meaning the actual numbers. Our part is going to be represented with a number that involves the word is. So something is, and then our bottom is going to be our whole. And the vocab in there that helps identify the whole is the word of. Okay, so it's always going to be is over of for that actual part. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and piece apart the things that we have. The first thing that I always look for is, are they giving me a percentage? Because if they are, then I get to set up 2 of my 4 pieces right away. So here it has what number is 24% of 50. So what number is, the is going with this part because my 24% already is a part of the ratio. I know it says is 24. It does not always mean that it's going to be 24 on top of 50 because this is our percent, and that's a very common made mistake. If you're given your percent, your first step is to take that number and write it over 100 because it's always over 100. So I always do that. Sometimes even before I fully read the question, and here's why, because sometimes that word is messes me up. And I think that has to be in my actual is. This is the percent part. So I went ahead and wrote out my percent as my first. I wrote that out in front. I know here it's in the back. It does not matter. Okay, so now I'm going to break apart that other piece. So remember, it's always is over of. So I have the word of with this 50. So that 50 is going to go on the bottom, meaning this is the part that I'm missing. I'm missing that is, that what number is. They're wondering what number is part of 50, is that piece of 50. So now I'm going to look at this and I'm going to say, I'm going to cross multiply, divide. So on my calculator, I'm going to do 50 times 24 and then divide that answer by 100. And when 50 times 24 divided by 100, I had hit something wrong, gives me 12. So here I found out that my answer is 12. Okay? So it's pulling the pieces and getting them in the right spots. My first thing that I do when I'm looking at this is I look and I say, do I see a percent sign? Because if I do, I pull that out right away so that I'm not messed up on the wording. Okay, so let's look at this next one. Okay, here I see a percent right away. So I'm going to circle that because it's telling me right away I'm going to write that as my proportion of 52 or my fraction over 100. Okay, now I can focus on some of the wording. So I have 39 is 52% of what number? So 39 is with the word is. The of is with the blank or the what. So it's always is over of, right? So is 39 over of, I don't know. So that's my question mark. And I could put a letter in there, a variable. That's how you guys were used to seeing those proportions before. So now I'm going to cross multiply, divide. So 39 times 100 is 3,900 divided by 52 gives me 75. So I just found out that I have a whole of 75. Okay, so I had 39 out of 75, whatever this is. Maybe it was a 39 out of 75 on a test. Okay, so that's not a very good percentage of 52%, is it? I would probably be retaking on that. Okay, so let's go ahead and try another one of these. All of this is just pulling your information and piecing it into those correct spots. Okay, so we have 48 is 75% of what number? So my eyes go directly to this. Are going directly to that right away. I know how to write that. 75 over 100 because the percent is always over 100. Now I can focus on the wording. 48 is with the word is, and then of is with this what number part. Okay, so is my top number. 48 is my top number. Over of, I don't know. So I'll just put a letter there for now. I could put a question mark if I wanted. I don't know what it is. Okay, so 48 times 100 is going to give me 4,800 divided by 75 gives me 64. So I just found out that my whole number is 64. So if that was a test, I got 48 out of 64 on the test. Okay, so let's try one more. I want you guys to try this one out. So go ahead and try this one out. We got a percentage in there, right? So they've given us the percentage. So I want you to pause your video, try this one out, and then check to see if you got it set up correctly. So what number is 150% of 40? Looking at that wording, here's what my eyes go to right away. Bam, I see that right away. So I'm gonna take care of that first. 150 over 100, that's the first thing I'm gonna do. Now I'm gonna look at the wording. So I see of 40 and is and this what number? Okay, so my of the 40 is the bottom because of is the bottom, the whole number. So now I'm gonna cross multiply divide. 40 times 150, whoops. This calculator's set up backwards. So 40 times 150, and then I'm gonna divide that by 100, which should give me 60. So I just found out that my answer is 60. Can we have a bigger number on top? Yeah, we have a percent greater than 100 there. So yes, if you ended up with 60, you were correct because it would be a bigger number because 150% is more than 100%. So you got better than the whole. All right, I'm gonna pull one out. I want you guys to try it independently and then you can check your answers. Try that one out. Pause your video, work your way through your proportion and solve, and then start your video back up and check it. Okay, so I found out that 2 is 10% of 20. So here's my proportion set up, and then when I cross multiply divide, 20 times 10 divided by 100, it gives me 2. So once again, pulling those pieces apart, remembering that is showing part of the number, of is showing the whole of the number, and when you set it up as proportions, it's always is over of, and then you also have a percent fraction. So your eyes should be drawn to that percent right away. I think it'll help eliminate making some of those mistakes of placing your numbers in the wrong spot. So remember, your percent is always over 100. Good luck.